You are welcome. This is another class under HTML tutorial. Today's topic is HTML attributes. HTML attributes are used to add more information to an HTML element. Important things to remember about the HTML attributes are these. Number one, HTML attributes are found in HTML tags. Two, HTML attributes only appear at start tags. It will never be on end tags. Number three, HTML elements can have multiple attributes. Number four, HTML attributes are composed of name-value pairs. Then number five, there are some attributes that can be used on all HTML elements, though they may not have effect on some elements. They are called global attributes. So let me give you an example of that global attribute. One of the global attributes is HTML contentable. What it does is that we can make HTML elements become editable by specifying the attribute contentable. Now, the contentable attribute is a global attribute. I mentioned that earlier. It can have two possible values. So the first value is true. That is to indicate that an HTML should be editable. And the second value is false. That is to indicate that an HTML element should not be editable, that it works. So the contentable attribute does not require a value if it is present at the start tag of an HTML element. Then it will become editable, otherwise not. That is, if it is inserted inside the open tag of any element, that means that the element content of that tag will be editable. Then if you not put it there, then it will not be editable. So this is an example of it. You can see we have p tag there. Then within the open tag of p tags, you can see the attribute there. So let's leave the attribute the way they are, and let's run the code. You can see I am editable HTML element. So let's see whether it can be the content can be editable. Let's try that. You can see it is editable. You can change it, whatever you want to change there. So by the grace, so by his grace. So that is it. You can see that it's editable. So let's go back and delete the attributes there. Let's delete it and see whether it will still be editable. So let's run it. So let's click it. You see now it is not editable again. So this attribute is useful when you are designing a form. That is when you can make use of it effectively. So let's go back to our lesson. So under that, we have another example here. Changing correct color examples, and also removal outline example. All these is what attribute contentable can do. It can help you to change color and also help you to apply whatever you want to, any text or any word you want to outline in your page. So that is the work. So let's go back to our lesson. An HTML attribute is composed of 1. An attribute name. 2. an equal sign, and 3, a value surrounded by quotation marks. That is the value. It looks like this. You can see the first one is attribute name, that is containable. In the case of the one I just showed you the example now, the attribute name, then followed by is equal to. You can see the sign is equal to, and the last one is the value of whatever you want to put there, another value you want to put there. So you can also use single quotation marks depending on the situation, especially when the value contains double quotes. Now, we will only use double quotation marks throughout our tutorial here. In this lesson, I am going to learn some HTML attribute with example. In this lesson, we are going to learn some HTML attribute with examples. So let's say we have lang attribute, which represent language. So this is how it will look like. You can see HTML, open tag, then we put our attributes after that. Then is equal to is there. Then we now put a value of what we want the language to, to do. So that is how we do that. This is close tag, HTML close tag. So as I said earlier, attributes can work with many tags. So this is HTML tags, you can work with it, you can work with so many tags. So this is another example of how attribute can work with many tags. We use the lang attribute to define the language of an HTML file. The language defined above is American English, that's the value. Then we have href. Attribute href example, you can see we use attributes in a tag, but this is open tag of A. So href is there, is equal to, then the value that we want the href to display as our link is here, that is http www.example.com. So that is what the value of the attribute. That's what to do for us. Now, let me show you an example of that and see how it looks like. So let's run it. You can see it's a link. So that is how it works. That is another attribute. It's the attribute that make that link to display on our web page. So let's go back to where we are. Another one is attribute title. Yes, we have href, link, then title. That is I serve as a tooltip. This one may not necessarily show here because we are using phone, but let's say we are using laptop or desktop, it will display. So don't let us waste our time on this. So the title attribute provides a tooltip for HTML elements. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on mobile devices. If you want to see how it works, click the try it yourself button, then save the file as file name. So we don't need all this one. So let's move on to attribute style examples. You know how to style, when we want to make some changes to our website. This is the code we normally use to do that. Whether color, whether size, whether everything that we want to do that will makes our website look wonderful and attractive. This style attribute is what we can use to do that. So on the example given above, we have created a paragraph using the p element. We also use the style attribute to change its font size and color. So we can use attributes ID and class example. The ID and class attributes give reference to elements inside an HTML document. Multiple elements can have the same class value names. The ID's value should be unique for each element. This helps us select elements in in style sheets, and scripts. So all these, we are still going to talk more about them for you and display how they works on our HTML page. And with that, you should be able to understand them more better. So thank you. God bless you.